Super FM 93.3 brings you all the news you need to know. Real conversations, real news, and one-on-one interviews with some of the most intriguing names in Rivers State, South Nigeria, and the country today. Unbiased analysis the way you wish still existed.
They're damaging the economy of the country. I'm not bothered about whether federal government they are supporting us or not. Because if you cannot protect the lives of your people, then there's no governance.
From the news that dominates the headlines to the important topics below the fold, left, right, and center busts the opinion bubbles and echo chambers with genuine discussion and real talk.
Out of $500 million that President Jonathan borrowed for Abuja Kaduna. At the time I was speaking, we were paid over 100 and something million out of the $500 million.
Tune into Point Blank with Shegun Awolabi every Saturdays 8:15 a.m. on Super 93.3 FM. Point Blank, civilized yet provocative. Tired of the lies? Tired of the spin? Are you ready to hear the hard-hitting truth in a comprehensive, conservative, and principled fashion? Point Blank on Super FM 93.3 brings you all the news you need to know. Real conversations, real news, and one-on-one interviews with some of the most intriguing names in Rivers State, South Nigeria, and the country today. Unbiased analysis the way you wish still existed.
They're damaging the economy of the country. I'm not bothered about whether federal government they are supporting us or not. Because if you cannot protect the lives of your people, then there's no governance.
From the news that dominates the headlines to the important topics below the fold, left, right, and center busts the opinion bubbles and echo chambers with genuine discussion and real talk.
Out of $500 million that President Jonathan borrowed for Abuja Kaduna. At the time I was speaking, we were paid over 100 and something million out of the $500 million.
Tune into Point Blank with Shegun Awolabi every Saturdays 8:15 a.m. on Super 93.3 FM. Point Blank, civilized yet provocative.
Hello and good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us in another exciting time on Point Blank. Point Blank is a news and current affairs program on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. And every Saturday, we'll bring you the big issues. We'll look at the top stories in the news making the headline, and we'll bring you the analysis of all of these stories. We'll look at all the stories, human angle stories, political stories, and everyday story affecting you. And of course, on Point Blank, we'll dissect the issues, looking at all the sides of the issue, bringing to you every angle of it. And thank you for joining us this Saturday on Point Blank. My name is Shegun Awolabi. But of course, you will be participating also on Point Blank, and we want you to join us live on all of our discussion this morning as we'll be throwing up on the telephone lines. And also, we're live on all of our social media platform. We're live on Facebook. On Facebook, it is Super 93.3 FM. On Twitter, that is X, it is on Super FM, Super News PH. And also, we're live on Instagram. On Instagram, it is Super FM 93.3. You can also watch us live on YouTube. We'll be having all of our discussions streamed live on YouTube, and you can participate and send in your contribution. On YouTube, it is Super FM PH. Now, if you want to do WhatsApp, you want to send us a WhatsApp message, we have a dedicated line for all of your WhatsApp comments. To send the WhatsApp link, to send your WhatsApp, make it 30 seconds only, and send only WhatsApp messages to 09059481021. And we'll be throwing open the telephone lines. And when we get to that aspect, I will tell you all the telephone lines. So to participate live and join us. Now, again, you can watch this discussion live on Facebook. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, and you can join us. Or simply download the Super FM Global app and be part of all our discussion, and also listen to programs on all our stations in Nigeria. Once again, greetings to you, and thank you so much for joining us. On Point Blank today, we will stay away from politics and dive into issues relating to human angles and situation of some communities likely to suffer flooding this year as a result of the predicted flooding by NiMET. Now, our investigation has revealed that the sea level is already increasing, and many of the communities in the areas that are riverine or that are very close to the sea are likely to suffer seriously this year. Now, we visited some of the communities recently, and we also saw the fates of some of the dwellers in this community. We were in some communities where we realized that farmers in those communities have embarked on early harvest of their crops, and this will signal what is likely to happen to food production in River State. On Point Blank this Saturday, we're looking at the situation in some local government areas, particularly those that are likely to suffer as a result of the predicted flooding. And one local government area we'll be focusing on this morning is Ahoda West local government area. Now, Ahoda West local government area suffered heavily as a result of flooding last year. And amongst the Orashi region, Ahoda West perhaps is the one that suffered the worst casualty in the flooding last year. And again, we've been asking ourselves, I've been asking the authority, what have they been doing to mitigate the impact of flooding this year? As we speak, farmers in Ahoda West local government area are embarking on early harvesting of cassava. Some of them don't even know what is going to happen to their produce, and some of the produce are premature. Again, the local government said it has done so much to prevent the occurrence of last year flooding in the local government area. But our investigation revealed that many of the community people don't even know what the local government is doing. The local government said to us that it has set up a committee to ensure that it works to mitigate the impact of flooding on the people. But what is the community or what is the committee doing? And how are they ensuring that there is proper dissemination of information to the locals? Are the locals buying into what the community or the committee is doing in Ahoda West local government area? And that will be our focus this morning on Point Blank as we look at situation in some local governments in River State ahead of the flooding. What have they been done? Again, we'll be bringing you some brief insights into this issue, but quickly, let me welcome my guests. I have with me in the studio this morning, Madu Da Madueke. Madu Madueke is the supervisor for information, media, and communication, Ahoda West local government area, and a member of the committee constituted by the chairman, Ahoda West local government area. And let me welcome you, Madu Dab Madueke. Good morning and welcome to Point Blank.
Good morning, Shegu.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And Mishak Uyi. Mishak Uyi is a friend of the house and is a regular on every of our show. Mishak Uyi is an environmental manager and a social reformer. He is the secretary, Ahoda West Flood Committee. Mishak Uyi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you once again for having me.
Okay, let me register these apologies. The chairman of the Ahoda West Flood Committee was to come in on the show, but he called us to say a lot of issues has happened in the local government area, so he would not be joining the show, but perhaps we can have him online. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to Point Blank, and Point Blank is a news and current affairs we're situating on Ahoda West local government area. Ahoda West local government area, one of the local government that suffered the worst as a result of flooding last year. The authorities said they've done so much in mitigating the effect of flooding. Now, what we know is that the River State government has said that no community in River State will suffer the amount of disaster witnessed last year as a result of flooding. What we also know that the River State government has constituted a committee to look into the issue of flooding in all of the local government area. And this committee has all local government chairmen. So we'll be looking a little bit about that, but quickly, let us situate ourselves to Ahoda West local government area as I begin to talk to my audience. And of course, you can join us in this discussion. So first, Mishak, as you and I know, Ahoda West was heavily impacted more than any other place in the Orashi region in the last flooding, that's last year. We're beginning to see signs now. Am I correct on that?
Yes, Shegu. Thank you once again for amplifying the voice of people, especially at this auspicious time we face. While some are preparing for the rainy days, Ahoda West is preparing for the flooding days. Not just preparing, we are already in the thick of it. So you are very correct. The situation right now, like I did mention, 34 communities of about 68 communities in Ahoda West, about 67 communities in Ahoda West. 34 of those 67 communities are already experiencing flooding in their farmlands.
I want you to give us that statistics again.
Ahoda West have about 67 communities 67 communities, with the least population being about 3,500. The least populated community is about 3,500. Out of that 67 communities, 37 of that 34 of that 67 live along the Orashi River. Yes, the entire Ngene and Ogbogolo clans live along the Orashi. Two clans of entire Ngene and Ogbogolo live along the Orashi, while the other remaining part of the Ubobi, Ibuduya, and Ubie also live along the Orashi, making it 34 communities along the Orashi in Ahoda West, living along the Orashi. And I must tell you, Shegun, that right now, these 34 communities, their farmlands have been submerged, ravaged by floods.
34 communities out of
34 communities,
more
yes.
than 50% of the entire area of the Ahoda West local government area.
Thank you. That's correct. That's correct. Their farmlands are already, because they are living along the fringes of the Orashi, their farmlands are within the floodplains. And this makes their farmland vulnerable to floods. Shegun, what we are talking about here is not raining days. What we are talking about here is river flooding. Whether there has been rain in 1 week, a week or not, the river keep rising. And so it's not about blocked drainages. It's not about NiMET prediction. This is about NISA, Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency's prediction, and not NiMET.
Now, again, you've said a whole lot, because I want us to have a conversation here. And you talked about it is not about blocked
drainages,
not
drainages.
Blocked why no. I'm saying so is because the International Society of the Red Cross visited that area, I think about 2 weeks ago. And one of the reports by the International Society of the Red Cross is that some of the drainages are blocked, and that there's something that's needed to be done urgently to open up those drainages. But you are saying it's not about the drainages.
Yes, it depends on where they went. If they went to Ahoda East, perhaps. If they went to Biakbo, perhaps. I don't know which place they went, but if it is Ahoda West, where I can speak authoritatively, and including Obaibe Mandoni and Abu Audua, that these 3 local governments I've mentioned are 70, 80%, 90% especially live along the Orashi. Shegun, these communities are well drained. We don't have problem of flash flood. We don't have problem of rainy, storm events. What we have is a challenge of river flooding, overflow of the Orashi and River Niger. This is the problem we have. Whether you desilt the gutters, as they call it, or the drains, if the Orashi overflows, the farmlands are inundated. You can't help it. Yeah, so ours is not the problem of drainages, gutters, as it were, but overflow, or if you like, the challenge of the reduced carrying capacity of these major water bodies, the River Niger, the Orashi, the Sombrero, and their tributaries. It's not about drainages. No.
All right, I'm just trying to fact check what you said, but again, we will get to that now. But what we also know is that the Rivers State government has approved in the 2023 budget, government approved about 25 million for clearing of drainages, and another, I think, 20 million for flood erosion control. How much of this has come to your local government? Do you have any idea of that?
I wish I could speak on that, but I don't know. I don't know if anything has been done in that direction.
Let's leave that. Maybe that will come from the executive, the executive of the government. But again, we also know that the Rivers State government constituted a multi-sectoral flood committee, and the chairman of that committee, which is the chief of staff of the Rivers State government, also said that Rivers State is working hard to ensure that residents of particularly your area, the Orashi axis, don't suffer the same fate as they suffered last year to flooding. What have you seen on ground that gives you that assurance? Are there any assurances on that?
Yes, Shegun. going by the preparedness, the preparedness so
And talk
far.
to us about this preparedness.
Yeah, going by the preparedness of the River State government, which is being cascaded to the local government. I must tell you that enlightenment and sensitization campaign, the phase 1 stage, or what we call the phase 1 stage, has been robustly followed through.
Now, again, Misha Kuyi, for the benefit of those listening to us, because you see, a lot of people are participating and a lot of people want to know the seriousness. You've talked about going about the preparedness, and I'm asking that you are in your Rashi region and your local government area, you're a member of the committee, your local government area suffered about the worst. We saw the worst case from your area. So, what in real sense has been done in your local government coming from the state government? We will come to what the local government is doing, but coming from the state government.
Well, okay. We've had we are working in synergy with the states, the state government. Don't forget that the state government actually gave a charge to all the local government to constitute their various flood management committees, where in the build-up of that, ours was constituted a 12-man committee, 12-man member flood management committee for the local government. The state has also gone ahead to carry out capacity building workshops for the various local government management committees, including ours. The Ministry of Special Duties has actually carried out a capacity building workshop with us. The Ministry of Health has also done that. The Ministry of Environment has also come to, fact check to see the flashpoints of flooding in my local government, including even the federal government has also sent a delegation to see what is going on. I must tell you that in terms of capacity building workshops, it has been robust. In terms of early warning, in terms of sensitization and early warning preparedness, it has been robust.
Beg your pardon, Misha Kuyi, because you're talking about capacity building workshop. I'm also aware. And again, I want also the supervisor for information to join in this conversation. I mean, you're free to react. I'm also aware that government has embarked on media jingles. I'm aware that the committee is with it. But again, I'm talking about how this impact on the local people. Let me tell you something. We were in Ahoda West local government area earlier this week, and we saw farmers prematurely harvesting their crops. And some of these farmers, they were helpless. We saw hopelessness on their face. We even saw some houses already submerged. I think I should be able to give you that area or we saw some houses already getting submerged. And when we spoke to these farmers, we told them that the local government has constituted 14 camps. That are they aware of these 14 camps? They were just looking at us. So it's a mirage. So again, when you say programs have been put in place, you're talking about capacity building workshop. We're looking at the people that are likely to be affected. How much do they know?
Shegu, if anybody, including even down to the market, our sensitization and awareness campaign has been the most robust. I'm saying that with all sense of responsibility. The most robust compared to any local government have done in terms of sensitization. We have gone down to the markets. We've gone down to the clans. We've gone down to the communities in sensitizing them, in informing them, in also informing them, asking them to be prepared that this flood is already here. And we even gone ahead to also inform them that because most times people take it serious when residents has been affected. We've told them that even start removing some of your crops early, so that you don't get caught up, you don't get overwhelmed with when the flood comes in full force. So it has been at least a month or more of robust enlightenment campaigns and awareness campaigns. So if anybody says he's not aware, I don't know, it's possible, but I must tell you that's wild knowledge, that's wild publicity.
So again, we're going to take your word on that, but we'll still come back discussing with that. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Point Blank coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. Now, our investigation reveals that there is now increase in the sea level. and some communities, particularly those around the sea level, may suffer. Of course, this is predicted. And again, the Rivers State government has constituted a multi-sectorial flood committee, mandating chairmen of the local government areas to put up flood committees, and has also asked to commence effort to ensure that Rivers people don't suffer the same effect of flooding suffered last year. But again, the question is, how much is being done? And the communities that suffered last year, what are the assurances that we will not have it happen again? And we're speaking to the committee in charge of flooding in Ahoda West local government area. Misha Kuyi is an environmental manager and the secretary of that committee. And we also have the supervisor for information, media, and communication, Ahoda West local government area, and a member of the flood committee. And the chairman is unavoidably absent. But again, we hope he will join us maybe online on the show. So the question we're asking is, what has been done? Now, Misha Kuya has said to us that everyone in Ahoda West local government area are aware and they know what has been done. So we're throwing this challenge. Are you from Ahoda West local government area? How much do you know on the job of the flood committee? Tell us. The number to call 070-5079-1021, as well as 081-174-31021. And those are the two telephone lines. Or perhaps your local government is not here this morning and you suffered flooding and you want to know what is happening in your local government. We can also throw challenge to the chairman of your local government area. You can as well send us a WhatsApp message on 090-5948-1021. A short WhatsApp message, make it 30 seconds. We'll take the first three calls. And Misha Kuya, I'll be talking to you more about what you are doing. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point blank.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Frank, calling from Dila. Let me greet my brother from the studio.
Franks, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, Frank.
Let me get my brother from the studio from Ahoda West.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madu.
Morning, how are you?
I'm fine.
Mika.
What my brother we have stated there, they are all correct. Because when I travel, the last time I traveled to my place, I move around to make sure that I have information concerning the committee that my local government chairman, Honorable Hope Ikrico, set up. Yes, I gather the information, and the information I gather proves that my chairman really constitutes the committee. And the committee, they are doing their job. And I believe that the CCR will not suffer the way we suffer last year. So everything that we have said here, they are all correct. Yeah,
all right. Thank you so much, Frank. And we quite appreciate you giving us that brief insight. Let's take another one. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Shegu.
Good morning.
Yeah, this morning. My name is Honorable. I'm calling from Ikoro.
Thank you so much.
I want to commend my man, Dr. Enyada Kupigan. He has been trying for this flood issue. If you go there, the set up committee since about 4 months ago, and they are trying drainage, they are working on it. I believe in my local government will never have a flood of Nkoro. I commend the chairman and his members, the member of the flood committee. They are trying very, very well. I appreciate them. Dr. Nyada Kukigan, you're the best local government chairman. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. Definitely, we will bring Dr. Kukigam to the studio, and also we'll find time to also invite the committee on flooding, because one of our responsibilities as a media house is to ensure that people have the right information. And since government has promised that no part of River State will suffer the same effect suffered last year to flooding, we will make sure that that happens, and by finding out what is going on. We'll take another call now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Point Blank. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Shegu, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hello. All right. We seem to have lost that call, and so let's take again the telephone numbers 070-5079-1021, 081-174-31021. Those are the numbers to call us up on and participate live on the show. You can also send us a WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp message, send your voice, 30 seconds only, 090-5948-1021. We'll take one more call and we'll move on. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Point Blank.
Good morning, Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt.
Mr. Zion, good morning.
Get to source this discussion for the ingredients to be brought to the. If you can restrict callers alone from the community, I will appreciate it. And not we living in Port Harcourt, who knows nothing what is going on there. Because these are two information. The ones living in Port Harcourt, they want to do their own. But those from the village, Allah restrict it. Send Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt, tell me thank you, thanks, because we are looking for people from the communities in that affected villages. I think for us to get this conversation, Mr. Zion.
Mr. Zion, I think your point is very, very germane because you see, the essence of this program is to look at what has been done. The Rivers State government has made huge promises that it has set up a multi-sectorial committee to ensure that Rivers people don't suffer flooding. From Ahoda West local government area, which is one of the local government that suffered the worst case of flooding last year, we already know that about 34 communities are already feeling the effect of flooding as we speak now. 34 out of 67 communities are already having the signs of flooding. Even farmers in these communities are already embarking on premature harvesting of their products. So we want the community people to speak to us. Have you seen what the committee has done? Misha Kuyi is here with us, and Misha Kuyi said they have embarked on a thorough sensitization of the people. He said they have informed the people. They are advising the people what to do with their crops. And also, Madueke, am I correct, is also here. He said they've done so much in sensitizing the people. How much of that sensitization are you aware of? We want you to call us, particularly if you're in a flood-prone community. But I'm going to come back to Misha Kuyi while we'll allow the telephone line to rest. Some people are joining us online. Also, Francis, thank you so much. You're joining us live. And if you want to watch us live in the studio, simply log on to your Facebook, Super 93.3 FM. Follow us and you watch this discussion live in the studio. If you're on Twitter, it is Super News PH. On Instagram, Super FM 93.3. Now, we are aware that 14 camps have been constituted. Am I correct? Yeah. The question is, where are those 14 camps?
I'll gladly reel them out just right offhand. Yes, we have the central coordinating IDP camp, which is located at the local government council secretariat with about 1,500 capacity. That is one. We have another camp at Akenema as well, which is the Akenema Town Hall. We have a camp at Mbiama Community, the primary school in Mbiama. We have two camps in JK, Isua.
You're talking about John
Krama, yeah. Isua, Jack's compound, and we have Obona compound with a capacity of 1,000 persons capacity. Excuse me. We have a camp at Odoluboji community. We have two camps at Okobe, one at the secondary school and one at the primary school. We have a camp at Obolobolo community.
Okay.
We have a camp at Ubeta community. These ones are mentioned in Ahoda West, all in Ahoda West. We have a camp as well at Iwaje community. Iwaje is in Ahoda East.
Okay.
And we have the central IDP camp at Ahoda.
Okay, so these camps that you've mentioned, because we're also investigating, and from what
yes, I'm not done. There's a camp at Okaki.
Okay.
And there's a camp at Obogolo community.
But this information you're giving to us now on radio,
yes,
how much of it is available to the people? And again, how adequately equipped are these camps? Because it is one thing to just designate a space and there's nothing there. Maybe I should allow Madueke, you've been very quiet this morning. You need to talk. Yes.
Okay, before he rescues me, don't forget that the designation of this camp is not necessarily done by the local government.
Okay.
the federal government represented by the National Emergency Management Agency, and the River State government represented by the Ministry of Special Duties, Ministry of Health, and even the their Ministry of Environment participated in looking at these camps where we say, oh, we could use this. They come there, vet it and say, okay, this is appropriate. No, we are not going to use this. That's how we come to that 14 camps. It's not in fact, it's not even within the purview of the local government chairman. He only show them where it is. And then they say, okay, this is appropriate. No, this is not appropriate. That's how that 14 camps it came about. So it's not even the decision, the discretion of the local government chairman.
But again, moving the people to the camp, because
yes.
Last week, a non-government organization embarked on a peace walk in Port Harcourt, and the non-government organization, which is a women group, one of their call and one of the leader of the group, which is the coordinator of the Healthy Life and Development Initiative, Dr. Ufam Utim, said Rivers State government need to put in place a plan to move the people. Because one thing is for you to list these camps. We have camp here, we have camp here. What are the efforts put in place? You already told us, which we also attested to, that about 34 communities are already, farmlands within the communities are already in water. So what are your plans to move them?
Shegu, before Mado comes, let me give one information here. The River State government is strictly adhering to the National Disaster Management Framework.
Okay.
The National Disaster Management Framework.
Now, perhaps you want to tell us about that national, because I also have some issues here. Maybe tell us about that framework that you think the River State government is adhering to.
That framework outlines measures step by step, what to do from stage 1 to the last stage, so even resettlement, from early warning to resettlement. Itemizes, and the River State government is following it judiciously. And I must tell you that the Ahoda West local government is also adhering letter to letter that framework. The framework is for effective and efficient disaster management in the state and in the local government. And that is what we are strictly following. I think that Mado Dab can give flesh to what I said.
Yes, Mado, you will come back, because there's another thing that is very, very important that we'll mention here. And I want you, Misha, because you are an environmental manager. See, the desilting of the Orashi River is still very important. Otherwise, one of the measures we're putting in place would just look ordinary. And I want you to talk about that, because that is a very critical factor in mitigating the flooding we're talking about yearly. It's becoming perennial. We are having it almost.
I'll come to that.
You come to that. But again, Madu, tell us about moving the people. What is being done?
Okay, I will start from where you asked earlier about the preparedness of the camp and the readiness of the local government to evacuate the people. Thank God you informed us that the chairman of the committee will not be able to make it to this studio.
But we're expecting him to join us online.
Yeah, because of other things he's handling. One of those things is part of the equipment of the camp. As I speak to you, most of the camps, after we have gone on the spot assessment, we discover areas that need to be worked on. He is now on ground in the various camps to ensuring that where necessary, therefore, especially the Imbioma camp, renovation has started there. Provisions of other amenities that are needed to be there are already on. We have also gone to Akinima, though we have resistance, but definitely all of them we put together. Other camps, as mentioned by the secretary of the committee, have also been put in place properly. There are medical equipment, water, and other social amenities needed for the camp to be functional. So the renovations are ongoing in the various camps that needed to be renovated. Other equipment needed in the camp, which we call camp materials, already procured by the government of the Ahoda local government area led by Hope Ikriko. So the evacuation of our people when the flood eventually get to the place they are already on ground. We have plans. We have evacuation committee, evacuation and rescue subcommittee, because the committee set up by local government have also gone to the extent of certain subcommittees that cater for the various persons and various services needed for a period of flood like this. So the evacuation committee with the rescue committee work together to evacuate these persons. We are not new in the flood management. I want to make it clear. Although he said that last year, Ahoda West was hit.
Suffered was one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let it be that every year, not just last year, every year.
So
that
it has been a recurrent,
yes,
perennial.
Yes, every year. Ahoda West was hit. So we are no longer new in the management of flood.
Okay.
That is why we are more advanced in all level of preparedness. So we are just coming here to let you know that this is the level we have gone.
All right. Fantastic, Honorable Madu, and I will still allow you to talk more. And for the benefit of those joining us, you're listening to Point Blank this Saturday. We're looking at effort of Ahoda West local government area in ensuring that the people of that local government don't suffer again. The Rivers State government has promised that it will ensure that Rivers people don't suffer any case of flooding this year. And as a result of that, government has set up a multi-sectorial committee to deal with the issue of flooding. All local government chairmen are involved, particularly those who usually suffer as a result of flooding. They're all involved, are members of this committee, and they have a mandate to set up flood committees in their local government area. Now, the situation as at today in Ahoda West is that out of 67 communities, 34 of them are already witnessing flooding, and farmlands are being cleared. Farmers are already embarking on early harvesting of their crops. The local government committee said it has set up 14 camps, and we are asking, what is the state of the 14 camps? How well equipped and how habitable are these 14 camps? The local government's flood committee said it has embarked on massive sensitization of the people. But the question is, how much do the people of Ahoda West know? Do they know what to look out for? Do they know the signs? And I have talking to me this morning the supervisor for information, media, and communication at Ahoda West local government area, Madueke, who is with us live in the studio. Misha Kuyi is an environmental manager and social reformer and secretary of the Ahoda West committee. Again, they are joining us, and we're looking at all of these issues this morning. The chairman of the flood committee is unavoidably absent. He was due to come to the show this morning, but one or two things happened and he couldn't make it to the studio. So again, we have the show live. You can watch us live on Facebook. You can send us a voice message on WhatsApp. We're taking all your voice messages, and we appreciate those that are watching us live. Pone Kelvin, thank you so much for joining us live, and we appreciate it. So the number to send your WhatsApp message is 090-5948-1021. Again, 090-5948-1021 for your WhatsApp message. And if you want to call in, particularly from those living within the axis of Orashi or those who are in flood-prone areas, the numbers to call 070-5079-1021, 070-5079-1021, and 081-174-31021. Now, we'll take a call right now, and we'll bring this up. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Shegun.
Good morning.
Hello.
I can hear you, Dr. Christian Otiasa. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Pastor Shegun.
We seem to have some connection problem with Dr. Christian Otiasa, but Dr. Christian Otiasa, we can hear you clearly.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Very well.
Okay. First, let me thank you for the selfless job you do for River State. And let me greet my very good brother, Meshach.
Good morning, sir.
I want to be very swift, and I'll take this in different areas. Now, we have clamored for top of the SEMA state level environment response and all that agency according to the law. Now, by what they have done, the state committee, you see that the chairman of that flood committee is the chief of staff. That is wrong. That is not the prescription of the law. The law says the chairman must be the deputy governor, and the secretary to government must be part of it, with other security and relevant interministerial agencies and all that. So to that extent, I believe they are obeying the law by half. And partial obedience is not obedience. That is number one. Number two, we have always asked or requested for the inclusion of experts.
Shegu, you will agree with me that the involvement of MISHAC in the Ahoda West Flood Management Committee is showing a difference from what it used to be before. It's giving you precision data as to what is happening and what is not happening. One of the things we clamor for in the management of floods is data pre, during, post, so that studies can be utilized for studies. That is number 2. Number 3, you see, a people's valuation of the environment is measured comparatively with what they do with other social events. With all the explanation that he has given about sensitization, Shebu, I have not had one jingle for using Ahoda language and Ngele language in the radio.
Okay.
But when it comes to social events, you will see all of them come out, or political events. So that tells you their evaluation of the environment. They need to do more. Why they are different, they need to do more. Now, Shegu, look at the budget you mentioned. The River State budget for the whole of the flooding is 40 million naira, schematically, if I'm correct. Now, 40 million naira cannot do anything. That goes to tell you the perception of the River State government, the valuation of the River State government on their environment, and indeed the people is very poor. It cannot, 40 million naira cannot even finish the silting the drains of Obiakbo and Port Harcourt, because councils like Port Harcourt is doing virtually nothing. Now, that is that. Shegu, by the Sendai Protocol, which my brother knows, you have beyond enlightenment, you have to build their resilience, taking cognizance of their local solutions. That has not been done in any idea. They have not built the resilience of anybody. So you will know that there are ideas when we talk, they say we are politicizing it. We are not, please. We are not against the government. We are putting our assistance, we are supporting the government to succeed. Because the government succeeding is me and you succeeding. In my LGA, the state committee has done nothing to my community, Soku. They have done nothing to Elen Sangama, which are the most affected 2 communities of that LGA. Shegu, the whole of the Elen Sangama will be flooded. They don't have the high ground, except they will transport them to Soku or to the gas plant. They don't. And what is the plan for recovery? When you harvest crops early, yes, the quality in terms of nutrients will be high. But
Dr. Christian Ochesa, apologies, we lost you there and again, but we thank you for those very beautiful contribution. However, the team in the studio seems to disagree with you on some aspect. I'm going to allow Misha Kuyi to speak. Particularly, they said you are not totally correct when you say there is no sensitization in the local languages. Yes.
So let me speak. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shegu and the caller. The truth is that we should be able to explain things we have knowledge for. Shegu, including this your studio, including this your station, has aired the 5 languages we produced our Django in different languages we have in Ahoda West. This your station, I can quote vividly. We have the record with us here. We have the Django produced in Ekpe language, Engene language, Ogbogolo language, English and Pidgin. That is 5. This was produced as at June. Between May, June, till now is running currently 5 languages. So I want to just beg my brother to speak on what he has knowledge for, because we are here.
Let us leave it at that. Again, you have clarified that, yes, because again, one of the things we're planning to do is to look at building the resilience of the people. It is important we build the resilience of the people. Rivers State government has made promises and said the people will not suffer flooding again this year. He has mandated the local government areas to embark on constitution of local government flood committee. But again, what are the plans to build the resilience of the people? And again, Misha Kuyi, you are an environmental manager. He talked about the Sendai protocol, which talk about local solutions. So we are looking at local solutions. What are the local solutions from your own local government, Ahoda West? We have you today. We don't have other local governments, but definitely we'll bring them on board. Yeah.
Building the resilience of the people, which he has also mentioned. And that is part of the Sendai solution, right? He is very correct. Like he said, the Sendai solution, part of it is building the resilience of the people, and which the committee, which I am part of, is actually embarking on. Remember, Shego, here, I told you that we are adhering to the National Disaster Management Framework, strictly to the National Disaster Management Framework. And part of which is also cascading our knowledge and building the capacity of not just our subcommittee members, but the communities and volunteers and NGOs that are going to be part of what we are doing. Shegu, as is a committee, like I said, yes, we don't. It is not a management authority in the local government yet, but we are hoping that it will be at one day become a management authority. However, the functions and the mandates given to us and the free hand given to us by the chairman of the local government area, Evangelist Hope Ikriko, PhD, has also given us that leverage to also cascade these experiences we have even to our locals. In fact, Shegun, we, like Madu said, we've co-opted, we've constituted subcommittee, or if you like, call them coordinators, right? About 14 of them. We are also having, in fact, we have situation room. We have a situation room running. What I mean, a situation room, just like this studio, where we take calls. We have 3 toll-free lines.
Actually, I have the toll numbers, which we would call out later for those
and we are training community members. In fact, Shegu, the least requirement, the least requirement to be a volunteer. Don't forget that we are all volunteers, including myself. The least requirement for a volunteer is the ability to swim. And you have at least you should be able-bodied.
Fantastic.
So we are training even right to the communities.
Okay.
The community youths, the youth presidents in the communities are vanguards in the community to build resilience.
I just want to take
we
some
don't
comments.
want to fight the flood this time. We want to live with the flood.
I want to take some comment from WhatsApp because a lot of people are sending us WhatsApp voice notes. And the numbers to sell the WhatsApp voice note to is 090-5948-1021. Send your WhatsApp voice notes to these numbers and make it 30 seconds. And we also appreciate those of you who are joining us live. We're watching us live. Now, you want to join us live, you want to watch us live again on Facebook, it is Super 93.3 FM. Twitter, Super News PH. Instagram, Super FM 93.3, YouTube, Super FM PH. Now, for those of you who are in those communities, if you could also send us visuals of what is happening, send us the photographs of the rising sea level, of the rising river level. We'd like to see those photos and we'd like to put them on our WhatsApp. Yao Christian Muele, thank you so much. David Peter, and also Francis, XZ Akwan. Thank you so much. You guys are live with us online, and we also appreciate. Now, don't forget, you can download our WhatsApp and Super FM Global, and on Facebook, you can like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share on Facebook live right now. So let's just take some of the comments coming now. Shegun, top of the morning. Okay, I think. Well, let's take some of the comments from WhatsApp. Let's listen to this.
I think giving palliative and incentive every year when this flood issue occurs is not a permanent solution. It's not the solution. The government has failed us over the years. If the Nigerian government has built dam, I think the dam will help to regulate this flooding in this affected state in Nigeria. It is not by giving palliative and incentive whenever flood issues come up every year. Look, it is affecting our agricultural products in river states and other states. Now, farmers are crying. They are harvesting crops that are not matured for harvest. So it is not helping. The government should do the needful by building dams so that it will help to regulate this flooding.
Well, thank you so much for that fantastic one.
Shego, good morning.
Good morning.
Ralph from Eleme.
Okay.
You see, it is obvious that in our deformities, when government is supposed to respond to us, there is what we call a disbursement formula and share the available resources. He is talking about town halls and people's compounds. The money given to them for this mission of this flood savaging.
Well, again, I apologize to that the sender of that voice note. There's too much background noise. So if you must send a WhatsApp note to us, please make sure that you send it from a very quiet environment so that we can consume what you've sent to us and we can respond appropriately to what you've sent to us. But again, thank you so much for the effort you made. Let's take this one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Precious from Elelewan.
Precious from Elelewan, thank you.
My question to your guest this morning is this, because according to him, he said he has done a lot of sensitization in the village. So now, I want to know what he has been telling people who don't have where to go, who don't have money to relocate in case they want to relocate, and who don't even have a relative anywhere to relocate. So what have you been telling people like that in the village? I want to know.
Okay. And Precious, that's a very critical question, because one of the things I also want to know from the member of the committee is the recovery plan. What is the recovery plan? Farmers are running at a loss. They are embarking on early harvesting of their crops. What is the recovery plan? Does that include your job specification? And again, Precious has said to you, what are you telling these people? That they don't have relatives, or maybe their source of livelihood have been washed away. And don't forget, many of these people we're talking about are farmers. Maybe Misha Kuyi and Madu, you want to say something on that? Yes.
Shego, thanks for...
Beg your pardon, I'm very sorry, because we still have Dr. Christian Otiasa online. I would just likely to take, let me just quickly take on Dr. Christian Otiasa before we come back. Dr. Otiasa, thank you so much for staying online. Yes.
Like I said, my comment was to the effect that the inclusion of Mishak has made a difference. Now, Shegun, I've told you the budget you read out to us, and I'm saying it does not represent any seriousness on the part of government towards the environmental solutions, particularly flooding. Now, again, I will tell you, we were privileged to send a delegation to see Mr. President. The flooding, that is a perennial thing, was not part of the agenda that were presented as a discussion. That tells you how they value the lives and flooding, the impact of flooding of those affected areas. So but don't forget, this part that is badly flooded is Rivers West and the Senatorial District. And I want you to use your own hands to count the economic assets to both LGA state and federal government in Rivers West. And let's even imagine that there is a strike and these assets are brought to a stop. Now, again, you have been told that people are vesting their crops premature. I was commenting on that before I dropped. Quality will be high, but then there will be losses in yield. That means the people are growing poor. Their livelihoods have been disrupted. What is the plan for recovery? It's not enough to feed them with Indomie and whatsoever now. After the flood, how did they do? I believe that by now, the committee should be able to liaise with IITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Ibadan, to look at seedlings that can grow maturely and be uprooted or be harvested before the setting of the flood. That way, you reduce the impact of their losses and their post.
But again, Dr. Chesa, I just want to ask you this question. Hold on, Dr. Chesa. I want to ask you this question because when you're talking about getting seedlings, we're talking about flooding, washing away their produce. How would such seedlings survive in such environment? Just a quick one, maybe 2 minutes.
The implication of this is that when they produce seedling of those nature, the seedling will be planted, matured, and harvested before the flood setting. So their losses will be almost zero, minimal in terms of crop losses, particularly for some species. That way, their livelihood dislocation is also reduced, so that even in the absence of little or no recovery plan by the state or the affected government, the impact is reduced. That is the implication of what we're talking about.
Fantastic. Dr. Christian Otiasa, I think you've made a very valid contribution. I'm going to allow
God bless you,
Misha
sir, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And again, I must commend those that are joining us online. We have Tia Jonah. You're watching online. Oni Losunbo watching us from Kaduna online. Thank God, Ability to Igbo, you're also online. Now, if you're watching us online, let us know where you're watching us from online. Send us a comment and also like, share, and comment on our Facebook page. So, Mishakuyi, first, Dr. Christine Otiasa has commended the fact that they even included a professional in the local government committee, which he said is commendable. However, he is also talking about the same thing I talk about, a plan for recovery, and he has listed some areas. So perhaps you want to answer that.
Shegu, I must commend Otiasa for bringing some of these to fore. Maybe it might have escaped my memory why, I may not have remembered them, but for his mentioning it, let me also bring to the knowledge. Shegu, we have a preparedness plan, phase 1, phase 2, and the last phase, pre-flood, during the flood, and post-flood plan. Perhaps I will share it with you.
We just have 10 minutes, man.
Yes, perhaps I will share it with you
quickly.
The plan is robust. Okay. When I mean robust, sometimes when I look at my chairman, I said, this man doesn't know what he has done. Bringing an environmental manager into it, I mean, it means he knew he wants the best, and he wants to go the whole hog. And we have itemized, I mean, from phase 1 to the last phase, from including recovery plan. That is how robust ours is. I'm going to share it with you. Perhaps we could also go ahead to even, but this plan is also, we've also shared it with the River State government, especially the River State House of Assembly. Recall that the River State House of Assembly also called the local government chairman to come and give account of their preparedness plan as well, which they also submitted. My local government, especially my committee, also submitted their preparedness plan. And I must tell you, it's robust. So all this is Michelle, time will not permit us to factor
because there are some very important thing I want us to talk about, including the dredging of the Orashio. But again, we have some comments coming in online. Tia Jonah said, what is the plan for the elderly? That the elderly must be given serious consideration. So do you have any plan for that category of people?
Shegu, more than ever this year, I know that not everybody will want to leave the camp, go to the camp, no matter how affected they are. Some persons will tell you, oh, we have our relatives somewhere where we will go to. Some persons will not even want to live where they are, no matter how affected they are. We understand. But what we are saying is, please don't endanger yourself. If you've not been trusting government before, please, we are telling you, trust government this time. We are better prepared this time to see how we can take care of your needs. Especially, in fact, the most vulnerable is the people we are targeting. And what we are saying here is, look, the camp is not necessarily where you have El Dorado. It's not where you have, it's not a heaven, the best of the places for everybody. But it's the heaven where you can get small succor. But it's for basically the most vulnerable, which include the elderly, the women, the children, and the aged. I mean, the sick. So in the camps, there will be sick bays. In fact, we also have mobile clinics. That's our plan.
Fantastic.
We have situation rooms. We have security. We have kitchen. In fact, Shegun, there will be immunization. River State Government Minister of Health is going to do that, and we also want to use this opportunity. The Minister of Health has done his best. Has carried out training. The Minister of Special Duties, the Minister of Environment. Please, Minister of Environment should also know that children within this time will be cut off from education.
Fantastic.
Plus, Minister of Health, Minister of Environment, Education should
just
try
for time's sake.
Just
for time's sake, I'm going to take 2 voice notes from WhatsApp. And that will be the last we'll be taking. We have several of them, but again, we apologize because time will not permit us to take all of them. But I must also commend Wadi Promise. Wadi Promise is joining us live on Facebook. He's watching live from Rupoko. Thank you so much, Wadi Promise. And Gail Zua. Gayazwa is watching live from Onair. Thank you so much from Onair Oil and Gas Free Zone. Thank you so much. Let's take this comment on WhatsApp.
Good morning, Mr. Shegun and
morning.
Mishak and Co in the studio. My question is that I have seen the devastating effect of the flood last year. By the way, my name is Prince Menem. I'm a friend to Ahoda. I've been there severally. My question this morning is that what do the government mean when it says that they will not suffer again, emphasizing they will not suffer again? Is it only that the flood will not be they will not be caught up in the flood, or does government also mean that the suffering I saw as a result of the aftermath of the flood last year will not occur again by providing them resources that will cater for their need? Because the amount of suffering they have passed through after the flood is much more than the flood. Thank you, sir.
Well, again, Prince Menem, that's a very important point you have just raised, and that is why we're talking about the said they will not suffer again. I think we would pass that question to the River State Committee, and hopefully, maybe Mishak might just want to help us. Hopefully, we will bring in the chairman of the River State Flood Committee. That's a whole lot of explanation they need to do. Before I allow Mishak to talk, God's time, Patrick, you're charting us all the way from, I hope, Ebubu. LMF. Thank you so much, God's time, Patrick. Yes, Mishak, 2 minutes. You want to talk about that?
Yes, when the government said you're not going to suffer again, recall that, like I said, I made mention here that we are no longer fighting flood. Okay. We've been fighting flood all the time, basically, but we are doing resilience measures now. We're not going to fight the flood, but we are going to live with it. It's not that we are going to, the local government, especially, I'm talking about the local government now, not that the local government is going to block the Orashi River so that the flood will not overflow again, the river will not overflow. No, we can't do that. But what we are saying is that, look, we will give you some succor, okay, so that you will not be affected. And when we talk about devastation here, don't forget, even though Ahoda West was the worst hit last year, the casualty was the lowest.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So and I hope that this year, and I hope that it's only properties that were affected, but in terms of casualty, no. I must tell you, and we hope that we will take it a notch better this year.
Fantastic. I'm going to take the last WhatsApp call we have this morning. We'll take that one. And again, I just want to commend God's time, Patrick. Franklin Tubo Terminal was also watching us from Kala Ogbogolo. Thank you so much. And this is the last voice note.
Yes, he has told us that the 14 camps are people's town halls, people's compounds. My question is it every time that the flood comes, they will locate them out of the flooding backgrounds, and after which they return back every year the same? What have they done so far to stop this flood from entering the community? Not they have put things on ground, they have gone in advanced level. What advanced level? Be specific. Tell us those things. Let us also know. Thank you.
Okay, so a very critical,
good morning.
Oh, we apologize. We can't take that. A very critical question. And that brings me to the issue I asked you earlier: the dredging of the Orashi River. What's the situation with that? Maybe you do that in 2 minutes.
Shegu, it is one lasting solution that we are hoping will be carried through. But this is beyond the local government, and perhaps it's also beyond the state. But Shegu, recall that a week before the handover of the last administration, the vice president, Professor Yemi, the then vice president, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, flagged up the dredging of Orashi River from Uguta Lake down to Degema. But that contract has not seen the light of day. Perhaps if that had been done, the carrying capacity of Orashi would have been increased. And I also use medium to also call on the River State government to please find out what has gone on with that contract. Perhaps this is something that could, so that we can key in. And if the Orashi carrying capacity is increased, perhaps we will not be experiencing its perennial as it is now. The River Niger can also be dredged. Then there will also be a better management of the dams,
I think including the Lagdo dam. Let's stay with the Orashi because that's what affects your area in particular. And again, I must thank you so much, members of the Ahoda West Flood Committee. Thank you for the boldness to come and speak to us. We invited you and you came. and we love that. I must thank you, the chairman, who is not here, Mishak Ui, who is the secretary of the West local government area. We are inviting other local governments as well. We want to speak to Ahoda East. We want to talk to Opobonkoro. We hear that the chairman is doing so much, but we want to see what the chairman is doing. And we also want to find out what is the plan of recovery from Opobonkoro as a result of the flooding there. Again, now for those in Ahoda West local government area, if you have challenge with the flooding, the local government has put in place a toll-free line. You can call this following number, register your complaint. You can call now 070-166-79683. Okay, the chairman of the committee just walked in. Okay, you sit down, chairman, and you give us your rounding remarks. The chairman of the committee just walked in. You can also call 080-7543-7165, as well as 080-7543-6715. Again, 3 numbers put in place by the Ahoda Local Government Area Flood Committee. Register your complaints, make calls, make inquiries, find out where the 14 camps are, find out the provisions for those who are suffering from flooding or who have suffered from flooding. And the numbers again, 070-166-79683 and 080-7543-7165, as well as 080-7543-6715. Now, the chairman of the flood committee, Ahoda West local government area, just walked in. Actually, they've registered the fact that you cannot make it because of 1 or 2 things. But I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to say something on just cap everything. Yes, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Chigu. My name is Honorable Amege Okwazi.
Yes, go ahead. Just tell us everything you've done.
Yes, for now, I think we've gone far, almost rounding up the sensitization program. You're aware, Chigu, that we've held a series of meetings to sensitize our people. We've held the town hall meeting, which we invited these critical stakeholders. NEMA, we are also part of that meeting. We sensitize our people on the need for them to come out to the IDP camps, on the need for them to come out to a safer place. Some of them too are saying that they will not like. Some of them are not like to come out to the IDP camp. You are saying that there's no problems anywhere you can go in as much as it is safe. There's no problem for you. But as it stands now, our IDP camps are ready. We have up to 14 IDP camps in the Ahoda West local government. They are all set. I came late because of we need to put some certain things in order. What we are doing now is to ensure that the camps are in order. We have good drinking waters. We have good medical care. We have to renovate the the facilities and all that. And that was why I came late. If you go to Imbiama now, you discover that we are working to ensure that that place is comfortable. The reason is that sometimes too they are complaining that will they leave their place and come to another place that they will suffer. So the local government chairman is committed, is dedicated to ensure that anywhere they're staying, they have to be comfortable.
We must thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm the chairman of the flood committee Ahoda West. Thank you so much for even finding time to come to the studio, because we were thinking you would not make it. But thank you so much. And the entire team, I must thank you sincerely for the boldness to come talk to Rivers people on what you are doing and what your local government area has done. Thank you so much. Travis Jr., thank you. You're watching us from Ebubu. Thank you so much, East West Road. And Sonny Feynman, thank you so much. We'll go on a short break. When we come back from the break, we have another set of guests. And this time, we'll be talking health. Once again, thank you so much to the flood committee from Ahoda West. Thank you so much.
Thank you.